First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not making my boyfriend apologize to my mom and sister? So, I was talking on Zoom to my mom and sister Jen, fake name. At one point, my boyfriend came in and handed me some tea, as I had killer menstrual cramps and tea helps. When Jen saw this, she said my boyfriend's actions were offensive to women and treating me like a fragile princess was enabling me. She said her husband doesn't help her whether she's well or sick, and that's how a partnership between equals works. This made me mad. My boyfriend is a sweetheart, and he understands that this time can be painful for me, so he helps out in whatever way he can. I told Jen that when I'm well, I take care of him as well. Pack his lunch, his office has reopened, but my college classes are still online. Make him breakfast, etc. She got even more angry, and congratulated me for becoming a 1950s housewife. This was crazy. I love taking care of my boyfriend, but that doesn't mean I'm giving up in my career. It's just that I'm a morning person, so I handle morning chores, he does nighttime chores. Jen went on about how offended she was until I left a call. Later, Mom, unbeknownst to me, texted boyfriend and asked him to stop helping me out whenever I was in Zoom because it upsets Jen. He didn't take her seriously, at which point she said he, an outsider, was disrupting internal family matters. This is the man who has made it abundantly clear that the minute our financials are in order, he's asking me to marry him. He lost it and said he'll take care of whoever he pleases in his own house. So this is where it might have gone into an a-hole territory. As my mom persisted, boyfriend said he had to look out for me since no one in my family would. This is not very far from the truth. Mom thinks older children always get the short end of the stick and has overcompensated by going the other way. Example, I wasn't allowed to cry as a kid because younger children get it easier. So my problems were nothing in comparison to Jen's. I had to share my birthdays and milestones events with her so that she didn't feel bad. This used to hurt, but I've made my peace with it. Now, my extended family is blowing up my phone, saying we were rude and hurt Mom's feelings. I got a text from my mom saying she did her best to be good parents, but she was only human. This made me feel terrible, to be honest. But then she added that she expected boyfriend to apologize to her and Jen on Zoom in front of the entire extended family. I lost it. I'm not going to make him apologize for taking care of me just because they feel offended by it. So, am I the a-hole for not making my boyfriend apologize to my mom and sister? Now for the top comments. What the hell did I just read? You were not the a-hole, and your boyfriend should most definitely not apologize to your family. If anyone in this situation should apologize, it's your sister for her crazy rant, and your mom for going behind your back to tell your boyfriend he shouldn't do nice things for you. You and your partner are in a loving relationship and we should take care of each other. If they find that weird, they need to take a long hard look at their own relationship. She said her husband doesn't help her whether she's well or sick, and that's how a partnership between equals works. Because this is absolute BS. My spidey senses are telling me the sister is super salty that her husband treats her horribly. Not an a-hole. 100%. And her only options are admitting her relationship sucks or pretend her sister sucks. Much easier to pretend. Seems to me that your sister is jealous as hell. Probably after years of being at the center of attention, she can't stand that your boyfriend is more supportive and nicer than her husband. Not an a-hole. Even so, the fact that a hand with a tea mug came into view of the camera and she just lost her mind is wild. Seriously, what is her life? She's just jealous her husband doesn't care about her at all. How can someone be offended by something that doesn't affect them? Let people be happy, not an a-hole. Update. Wow, I did not expect this much support. After reading your comments and a long talk with the boyfriend, I decided I needed to cut ties with Mom and Jen. In fact, he pointed out that if we had kids, the mistreatment could extend to them as well, and that settled it for me. I blocked them both, and sure enough, relatives were calling/harassing me left, right, and center. I blocked all of them too, except an aunt and two cousins who actually took time to listen to me and apologized. Honestly, I've never felt this scared but happy in my life. I am literally shaking as I type this. Thank you guys so much. Had I not gotten such overwhelming amazing support in here, I might not have taken the step. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my new sister-in-law I didn't feel like her real sister since she didn't invite me to her wedding? So, my brother got married and his wife apparently didn't think it was important enough to invite her new husband's family. My brother called me yesterday and told me they got married, and I was speechless. My brother and I were always extremely close growing up. I, of course, congratulated him, but felt very hurt. And all he was talking about was when his mother-in-law dies, how they're going to get like 3 houses and how her family's so rich. But anyway, we haven't really got any chance to get to know her because they've only been together for a little over a year, and anytime we invite her to anything, birthdays, holidays, etc., she's always sick. The first time we were supposed to meet, October 2019, at my birthday dinner, she went shopping with my mom and brother and then got a headache and went home before I could meet her. She came to Christmas 2019 and nothing else. She always makes an excuse. Anyway, I guess she knew I was going to be upset she didn't invite us to the wedding, so she called me and told me she was excited to have a new sister. So I told her it didn't feel like a sisterly thing to not invite me to her wedding, and I didn't feel like a real sister. She got mad and hung up on me and blocked me. Am I the a-hole? Edited to add, they invited her family and friends. Not the a-hole, but your brother absolutely deserves his share of the blame for letting this happen as well. Sounds to me he only cares about the fact that he married into a rich family. Yeah. Don't worry, Opie. This marriage is doomed anyway. They've known each other for a year. She obviously doesn't like or care about your family. He lets her steam on major decisions, and all he seems to care about is her money. But we'll have to stick around till her parents die to get it. She'll dump him when she gets bored of him, and I encourage you to rub salt in his wound as much as you like. Not the a-hole. Info. Why are you upset at the in-law when I would assume it's your brother's job to invite his own family to the wedding? Do you know if she explicitly told her brother to not invite anybody from his side? Was her side of the family present at the wedding? He said that she did all the planning, including guest list, and just gave him a time and a place to be there. I guess he didn't think he had to specifically tell her to invite us, and by the time it happened, it was too late, and he didn't want to start a fight on their wedding day. Not day-hall after info from Opie. Info. Why on earth is this on your sister-in-law instead of your actual brother? I'm mad at him too, but this is about the convo that I had with my sister-in-law, not my brother. Edit. I'm also mad at my brother. I had a separate convo with him that I didn't write on here. This is specifically about my conversation with my sister-in-law. Further info. When my brother told me about the wedding, he said that his wife planned everything, including guest lists, and just gave him a time and a place to show up. And by the time he saw we weren't invited, it was too late, and he didn't want to start a fight on their wedding day. There were about 20 people there, and our family would have been only 4 people. Okay, I'm going to add this again. I am mad at my brother. I'm not putting all the blame on sister-in-law. However, this post is about the convo I had with her, which is why I'm not talking about my brother that much. I don't need Reddit to tell me if he's the a-hole. I know he is. Also, the wedding was apparently planned in about a week. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for asking my friend to step down as my maid of honor due to her husband making me uncomfortable? Hi. 3 weeks ago was my partner's birthday. Since it's been months since we organized, we found a really awesome Airbnb, but there was with a 0 tolerance for smoking. Everyone smokes weed. So I texted everyone beforehand they must smoke outside or on the heated smoke pot on the roof. Everyone agreed to follow the rules. It was 15 people, 4 of my friends, and the rest my partner's friends and mutual friends. The issue is my friend's husband was so stressful and rude to be around, everyone decided they would rather drive an hour home than spend a night with us. He also kept shutting windows and smoking into place. I was charged a $100 fee for the smell. I also received a horrible rating on Airbnb. So that's just the logistical issues. Now for the social, this man was so obnoxious. Kept interrupting everyone, was being racist, sexist, and homophobic. At one point, he went on a rant about Mexicans. His wife is Mexican, so that's extra horrible. He also kept humiliating her publicly. Like he kept trying to get people to bully her with him. Another rant he went on was how gays are evil. I'm pansexual, and everyone was just staring at me. He also mocked any man cooking and cleaning, demanding all the women do it. He also fought with everyone about which room they were staying in, and demanded why no couple went off to have intercourse yet. Everyone challenged his bigotry, but he got aggressive and ruder. All my partner's friends left due to stress and being upset. I also have a seizure disorder caused by stress. He told me it was all in my head and I should take medication. I advocated for myself, as did everyone else, about what type of vibe reduces my seizures. He actively ignored all pleas by me, and everyone else to cool it, as my seizures result in me being picked up the floor and moved. I also freeze and stare off into place, so everyone had to help me unfreeze and snap me out of it. I tried talking to my friend about his behavior, but she just dismisses it as alcohol. I am the last friend of hers since no one else wants to be around him. She seems to love him despite how mean he is to her. I told her 2 nights ago that unfortunately she can't be at the wedding since it's so small. We want to make sure the vibe is right, and the last get-together was a nightmare. She told me I'm an a-hole for abandoning her. She said that she can't control him, and it's not his fault he doesn't understand my condition. She also said she's been through several bad relationships of mine, and I'm an a-hole for cutting her out of my wedding after being friends since we were kids. I just want my guests to feel comfortable and not have seizures on my wedding day. I don't want it to affect my relationship, but I will say goodbye so I don't suffer seizures around him. No one else in my life that I socialize with causes that. So am I the a-hole? Info request. I was just going to uninvite him, but we got into a fight, and she told me my seizures are my responsibility to deal with, and his behavior isn't something she can't control. I explained I can only have people in Team Anti-Seizure at my wedding, and if she doesn't want to respect my triggers and sensitivity to certain stimulus, she can't come. No one kicked him out because it was very late, and they lived an hour away. We were kind of scared of him getting violent or starting a fight. Everyone was high but me. I was suffering too many seizures. All the other guests all debriefed the next day, and we were all remorseful about how the event unfolded. Lessons this thread taught me: my friend is being abused. I need to not apologize for my disorder. I should tread lightly with this friendship to help, but she needs to sit out of my wedding unless she is going to be respectful of my triggers. Thank you, everyone. This have been so beyond helpful. I feel so validated, understood, and we made a plan how to support her in the coming days. Now for the comments. Not a-hole, but I would tell her she can come if she doesn't bring him. If he's like this to her in public, I would be worried about physical abuse at home if the emotional abuse is this bad in public. She may not know how to ask for help. Yeah, I definitely think how quickly she defended him and how firm my boundaries are caused us to fight. So perhaps I can figure out how to say, although I have to respect my disorder stimulus triggers, we should have a frank convo about what types of environments and settings we can hang out in, that you don't mind my stimulus restrictions. Exactly. She may need to be invited alone, and if he allows her to come alone, it may be time to ask her one-on-one if everything is okay at home, since he isn't there to answer for her. Wow, your friend sounds like she's in a relationship that is super abusive and doesn't/won't realize it. Not a-hole. It sounds like she's not ready for help, and that your wedding would become a casualty of her toxic marriage. Maybe try to keep a door open to her while establishing boundaries. I'm sorry, but your husband's behavior is giving me medical concerns for the wedding. I'm concerned about you, and I'm always here if you want to talk about him, but I can't have him near this event. Oh, thank you so much. That is such a perfect way to say that. I want to help her for sure. If I didn't have my disorder, I would suck it up. Thank you for your phrasing. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for not removing my son's makeup when my sister-in-law asked me to because she didn't want a boy wearing makeup at her wedding? My sister-in-law and my brother got married yesterday. My daughter was the flower girl and my son was the ring bearer. They're twins, both 4. It was a small wedding, and I did my daughter, sister-in-law, and her maid of honor's hair and makeup. When I was doing my daughter's makeup, my son, whom my husband had already dressed, came to me and said he wanted makeup too. He's asked for makeup before, and honestly likes it more than my daughter. I did his just like my daughter's, just with subtler eyeliner and paler lipstick. I was done with it when my sister-in-law came to ask what was taking so long, and I told her that I was doing his makeup. She freaked out and said that a boy wearing makeup would steal the spotlight from her and asked to remove it. I asked him if he wanted to remove it, and he said that he didn't want to. I assumed my sister-in-law would back down, but she told me to take it off anyway. He said that he wouldn't go to the wedding if he couldn't wear makeup. My daughter said that she wouldn't do it either if her brother wasn't there. My sister-in-law said I should just make them, and I told her that I don't force my kids to do anything without a valid reason for doing so. I told her that my kids would not be in the wedding if she didn't let my son wear makeup. She said she would let him wear makeup. After the wedding, she told me that everyone was looking at my son instead of her, and he stole the spotlight. I don't get what she means by that. There were only 12 people there, including the bride and groom, and all of them except the best man and maid of honor have seen my son in makeup before. Am I the a-hole? I'm still stuck on why you were putting makeup on your 4-year-old daughter. That's what I said. I can't imagine putting makeup on a 4-year-old. Seems pointless. They have smooth skin and rosy cheeks. It's because at that age, you want to do whatever other people are doing. A child doesn't conceptualize how much they don't need makeup. They just want it. That's when I bust out the finishing powder, tap most of it off the brush and tell her, "Wow, you look perfect." Eyeshadow, eyeliner, mascara, and lipstick is basically full face since they have the complexion for foundation, concealer, and blush. I would have been irritated too, male or female. It's a wedding, not toddlers and tiaras. You're the a-hole. Here we go. 1. You flat out refused to grant the bride a simple, reasonable request on her wedding day. It's not like she asked you to dye your hair green. She asked you not to put makeup on your son so as not to steal focus. Is it shallow? Yes. Is she allowed that on her wedding day? Yes. Be a better sister/sister-in-law. 2. You allowed 4-year-olds to deliver you an ultimatum on your brother's wedding day, and then bend to their will. "I'm not doing it if I don't get my way" is not a precedent you should set for kids who've made a commitment to something. Agree with this whole assessment. Take the makeup off both and go on with the day. Edit. Got it. I'm an a-hole. I'm going to call her to apologize today. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe. First story is titled, "Am I the a-hole for pressing charges when my stepson took something my daughter inherited from her mother?" I'm male 47, been with my wife for 2 years. She has a 21-year-old son and I have a 14-year-old daughter from my previous marriage. My late wife passed away in 2014 and she left a few things for our daughter, including a gold jewelry set. Her mom was devastated she didn't get to give the set to our daughter on her wedding day. So I keep it in my closet since it's expensive and my daughter is too young to have it, and I'll hopefully gift it to her on her wedding day. Last week, we were sitting in the kitchen when my stepson was hesitant to ask me something. We're in good terms, but have our fair share of arguments. He said his fiancée was taking something from his mother's and my closet, saw the jewelry set, and liked it very much. He asked if he could borrow it, so his fiancée can wear it at her cousin's wedding. I found this unacceptable, and I told him his fiancée had no business being in the bedroom, and that the jewelry isn't mine, it's for my daughter. He asked me if my daughter will agree to let him borrow it if he talked to her. I told him not to even talk about it again. He got all pissed and said things I do not remember. Saturday night, when he and his fiancée were at the wedding, I discovered that the jewelry set was gone. I told my wife and we looked all over the house. I called my stepson to tell him about calling the police because I really thought someone stole the set. He said there was no need, that he borrowed it and will return it after they get back from the wedding. I yelled at him and told him to come back with it right then. I kept calling him till 12 a.m. when he told me to stop calling and that he'd bring it in the morning. I couldn't sleep that night. I felt so terrible. In the morning, he showed up at 10 a.m. He didn't bring it and started stalling, saying he forgot and he'd bring it the next day. At this point, it was clear he gifted it to his fiancée and was stalling. I got so mad. I told him I will be pressing charges if he doesn't return the set today. We got into an argument and my wife said his fiancée was the one who wanted the jewelry set. But he was the one who took it, and it's not even mine. It's my daughter's. Which made it worse because I'm responsible for whatever happens to it. His grandparents berated me after I told them this and got mad and defended him when I said that I will be pressing charges. He stole and needed to be responsible for his actions. He didn't respond to my final calls, so now I've given him one last chance, then it's over. I pressed charges today. They're saying calling the police was extreme and cruel. They're all convincing me to back down. Am I the a-hole for pressing charges? He was replying to me sarcastically when I said that I'd get the authorities involved, and he didn't take me seriously. His mom said she'd try to talk to him, but I had enough of him stalling, hoping I'll just let it go so he can make his fiancée happy. I feel like an irresponsible idiot. I can't even look at my daughter without feeling frustrated and infuriated. I'm hurt, but what's worse is that this is my daughter's property that I couldn't take care of. My wife allows them into the room, although I told her not to several times. They're not kids, and there should be some boundaries. I just needed to mention that they were in Europe. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole and don't back down. A 20-something step kid is stealing your daughter's heirloom. The family are all flying monkeys. Piggybacking to say that my mom died in 2015, and all I have left of her is her jewelry. It means the world to me. OP would be the A if he backs down from family pressure. This is straight up theft, and his stepson is human filth for taking something that doesn't belong to him and is an heirloom. He stole from a 14-year-old girl. He deserves to suffer the consequences of his actions, especially when OP gave him many chances to give it back. He's not, because he thinks OP will back down. Do this for your daughter, OP. She's already gone through enough. She doesn't need to lose a part of her mom all over again. Not a-hole. Not a-hole. You gave the son every opportunity to return the jewelry. Let the cops sort out the culpability of son and fiancé. And get a safe deposit box. Mom's and the grandparents' attitudes show that this isn't going to be the last thing that goes missing. I'd be considering a safe deposit box and a lawyer. The fact that she wasn't calling him to return it immediately would be enough in my eyes. Not an a-hole, but be prepared. This may be the hill your marriage dies on. It would be worth it. The next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for agreeing with my partner's decision to make my daughter leave when she's 18? I, 36 female, have a 17-year-old daughter. 3 years ago, my daughter and I moved in with my boyfriend of 9 years. The house is technically in both of our names, but I have not worked for the last 9 years, so he's the reason we still live there. He has not gotten along with my daughter since we moved in, and he at one point earlier on said he was very wary about being married and becoming a stepfather since he is already a father of 3 kids, 2 of whom, 15 female, 13 female, still live in the house. He and my daughter fight a lot, and his 15-year-old in particular takes her dad's side in all their fights. During their latest argument, my boyfriend said he finally has had enough. He called me in and told me that he hates drama. He said that his kids' welfare comes first, so if my daughter's attitude was contributing to their, especially his 15-year-old's apparent unhappiness, something has to give. He said he's always had a no a-holes policy in his business, but that extends to his family. He said when my daughter turns 18, we could give her leeway to find a new place, but ultimately, this is his house, not hers. He said that he's saying right here, right now, that he does not want her in this house after she's an adult. But he said my name is on the house too, so he asked if I agreed or not. I honestly didn't know what else I could say, because it was his house first, and in many ways, it was his house more than it was mine. So, I told my daughter that I'd help her find a job if need be and a place, but I really couldn't do anything about it if my partner had made up his mind. He interjected and said he definitely had, and having an extra adult mouth to feed wasn't cheap. My daughter said I was a sellout, and that then I should get a job to help her with getting an apartment, even though I spent all my time trying to run the house smoothly. Am I the a-hole? It seems sudden, but I think we can reasonably say that it was a long time coming. Now for the top comments. You're the a-hole. You've been with him for 9 years. No ring, and he has clearly said he's wary of giving you one? Yet you choose him, someone who won't commit over your daughter. Your name is on the house, it's legally your home too. You gave no resistance, just went, that's fine honey, let's kick my own kid out. His kid's welfare takes priority over your own kid's welfare? Blended families take work. And it doesn't seem like any of you have been to therapy together if the fights are as bad as you're making them out to be. I think their relationship dynamic is really horrible. It seems like she's completely dependent on him and doesn't want to get a job. If he is justified in kicking Opie's daughter out, depends on how she behaved. If she is aggressive or violent or emotionally abusive, he and his kids have a right to feel safe and comfortable in their house. If he is being an a-hole, controlling or overbearing with her, it's his own fault she doesn't like him and fights him about it. They've been together for 9 years. He has known her, the daughter, since she was 8, a child. For her to not like him so much that they're fighting, after she's known him for since she was a little kid, I highly doubt she's the problem. And for it to continue for 3 years since mom moved in with her, it's not her that's the problem. The boyfriend is an adult. Adults should be more emotionally mature than teenagers in general. To not be able to even get along with someone is known since they were very young, and for it to go on for so long, she is very, very unlikely to be the problem. You're the a-hole. This girl is 18, and it is 2021, the worst pandemic we've seen in 100 years, and the tightest margin young adults have ever witnessed in terms of cost of living and wages. You would be setting your daughter up for a very unpleasant life if you ditch her at 18. If she is bringing these or other junk in the house, then I can see it. But in attitude, you two need professional help. Big time. Also notice Opie's age. She was 19 when she had her kid. How old is the boyfriend? He sounds older and like he has control of things. You're the a-hole. I can already see the post, if Reddit is still there. X years ago, my daughter's boyfriend threw me out on the day I turned 18. He died a few weeks/months ago. They weren't married, there was no will, and all his money went to his own children. Now Eggy wants to reconcile. Let it be clear, she never worked. She just sponged off him. But I laughed at her in her face and said, too little too late. Would I be the a-hole if I get her served with not only a cease and desist letter, but also actively pursue a restraining order due to her harassing me for money because family stands together/helps each other? Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for being mad at my stepdaughter? I, 39 female, have a stepdaughter, Molly, 16 female, who I'm not close with, and a son, 15 male, and a daughter, 3, with her dad. Molly gets excited and also upset very easily. She's also in drama and takes it very seriously, which is good. Her room is right above her half-sisters. Yesterday, the cast list for her show came out, and she was in her room squealing and stomping and jumping around. She woke up her sister from her nap, and I went up there to inform her. She was defensive, saying, well, it's my room, and the cast list just came out, I'm the lead. And I responded with, actually, it's your father and I's room, and we'll let you live here. My parents did this with me if I got too rowdy. Skipped to dinner last night and she's talking with her dad. She asked if she could go to school and talk to the director about choreography and help out, and then go to Hobby Lobby and then go to her cousins. Before her dad could say anything, I talked to her about her sister and how she woke her up, and I said that she should watch her tomorrow. Her and her dad both gave me looks, but I'm serious. Her dad said no, Molly can go do those things tomorrow, but I want her to see how much of a chore watching toddlers is, and how she undid an hour of work on my part. Am I the a-hole? Edit. Since this keeps coming up, I've known her since she was 12. My son is mine. I don't know the relationship between my son and my husband since I never see them together, unless they're eating. Since some of you needed it. Now for the top comments. You're the a-hole, and I see clearly why your relationship is not close. Glad her dad overrode your nonsense. You're the a-hole. The normal reaction would be, congratulations, well done. But could you come downstairs and tell me quietly, please? Why is the 3-year-old napping? Surely she's too old for naps. Opie doesn't have custody of her 15-year-old. Wonder why? She is under no obligation to watch her half-sister. Opie is trying to control the house. You're the a-hole. We let you live here has a different meaning to a stepchild you aren't close to, and a child you love and are committed to. My parents said it to me is totally besides the point. Where your parents your parents? You didn't take a second to try to build this relationship you say needs work, namely, congratulations. You want her to care about you and your child, but didn't take a second to show you care about her. Also, she's 16, so they let her live there as they are legally required to. Young children are notoriously easy to wake up. Why is her room under anyone's room? You're the a-hole. You're seriously angry at and trying to punish a 16-year-old theater kid for being excited that she accomplished landing the lead? Okay, few things. My parents did the same "we allow you to be here" type crap. It's damaging. It never made me feel like I had security or safety in my home or living situation. Knock it off. Secondly, just ask her to keep it down. Does your son also get punished with toddler care when he's too loud? The last story is titled, Am I the a-hole for unintentionally hurting my stepmom's feelings? I have a stepmom, one who is good to me and my dad. I actually like her. She's been my stepmom since I was 10, and now I'm 16. She cares about me more than I care about her, and she sees me as one of her kids. She has a son and a daughter who are close in age to me, but I never saw her as a mom. I am so glad my dad has her and we have a pretty alright relationship. She is pretty respectful of my mom's memory. I know she avoids my room for the most part because that's where most of the photos are, but it's no biggie. So recently, she found out that I have corrected people who assume she's my mom. Because a loudmouth girl I was doing a school project with, via Zoom, decided to blurt it out in front of her. My stepmom's daughter was there, and she lost it. My stepmom sent her to her room after she refused to apologize. The same day, right before bed, my dad and her said they would speak to her daughter and that I hadn't done anything wrong. I asked my stepmom if she was okay. I told her to open up because I could see she was hurting. She admitted it hurt her feelings a little that I correct people who make the assumption, but she also understood. She asked me if she could ask me something. I said sure. She asked me how I felt about her really. She told me there was no pressure or judgment. She just wanted to hear. I asked her if she would be honest if I told her. She assured me she would, and when I told her I liked her, and was so glad my dad had her and that I thought she was a good person. She admitted she was a little sad. Like wasn't love, but she was also really glad I felt that way about her too, because she would hate it if I didn't like her. I told her I was sorry that what I said to others had hurt her feelings, and she told me there was nothing to apologize for. We both appreciated the honesty, and I thought that was the end of it. Except her daughter has been acting like a jerk to me ever since, and keeps saying I hurt her mom's feelings, calling me a witch all the time, and saying she deserves more than I give her because she's been my mom whether I like it or not. She then told me that her mom is better than my dumb, precious mommy could ever be, which she was grounded for saying. But I do feel bad still that my feelings hurt my stepmom, and that what I said to others hurt her. It just always stings when people assume she's my mom. For me, it's like my mom being slowly erased when people started saying someone else is my mom, you know? I need to know. Am I the a-hole, guys? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole. It sounds like the problem lies with your stepsister, not your stepmom. You made it clear that you two spoke about things and came to equality and respectful understanding. I would clear the air with the stepsister and do your best to move on respectfully. But don't compromise on your choice to hold boundaries with regard to where you stand with a relationship with your true mother and your stepmother. Communication is key. Good luck. The stepmom is hurt, but she's not holding that against Opie. She's being understanding, unlike other stepmoms we've seen on this thread. It's the daughter who can't let it go. I hope the daughter comes to understand that people are allowed to have different feelings. Absolutely not the a-hole. You sound like a lovely and caring person with a very good relationship with your stepmother. It's not rude to correct facts. She's not your mother. She's your stepmother. That doesn't mean she's not important to you or that you don't like her. It's just a fact. I'm sorry your stepsister is a big jerk. I hope your dad and stepmom can get her poor behavior under control, but none of this is on you. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe.